Your successful experience of holding a basic conversation in a foreign language will make you more confident, encouraging your further study. Don't forget to subscribe to Lang Explorer to show your support. If you're studying a foreign language for the first time, or if you've tried it already but failed, your first goal is probably to have basic conversations. Even the range of topics you can handle is still restricted, and sometimes you need help understanding what is told to you. But aren't you sure how to start it? It's crucial for beginner-level language students to understand and to get used to the phonology and the basic grammar of their target language, as well as to memorize essential words. Today we'll show you how to get to A2 in CEFR so you can start having fun communicating with people in a foreign language. Learning any foreign language may seem like an endless marathon, but you'll do much better than you think if you set an immediate goal and design a concrete action plan to reach it. In this video, we'd like to introduce such an action plan so that you'll be able to get your goal if you follow that plan well every day, and have fun communicating in a foreign language, albeit to a limited extent, as it'll help you continue your study. In a previous video, we explained the CEFR, the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, in detail. Of the 6 levels defined by the CEFR, the immediate goal for those who are starting to study a foreign language from scratch is B1, where they'll have no trouble with basic daily conversation. However, since it takes a certain amount of time to reach this level, you can set A2 before B1 as your first goal, as it allows you to have fun speaking a foreign language and feeling a sense of accomplishment. Here, we'd like to briefly tell you what you should do to reach A2, especially for those who don't feel comfortable learning a foreign language or those who study it for the first time. Here we'll see the criteria for A2, can understand sentences and frequently used expressions related to areas of most immediate relevance, e.g. very basic personal and family information, shopping, local geography, employment, can communicate in simple and routine tasks requiring a simple and direct exchange of information on familiar and routine matters, and can describe in simple terms aspects of their background, immediate environment and matters in areas of immediate need. But how many hours are necessary to get to this stage? It depends substantially on which language you choose to study. According to the Department of State, United States, Spanish is ranked as one of the easiest languages, while Japanese is one of the hardest. Based on Academia Contacto, a Spanish language school in Madrid, it takes between 220 to 260 hours to get to A2 from scratch. At the same time, Interac, an agency in Japan that sends English teachers, determines that it takes between 575 and 1,000 hours to get a similar level. However, this amount can be reduced to between 400 and 700 for those who already know kanji, in other words, Chinese characters. The easiest languages for native speakers of English are Romance languages, such as Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese, and other Germanic languages, such as Dutch, Swedish, and Danish. Exceptions are French and German, which are slightly more challenging, and you need to add 25% more time for French and 50% more time for German. For most other languages, such as Slavic languages, Greek, Thai, and Turkish, among others, you need almost twice more time. In contrast, in the case of Arabic, Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, you need up to 4 times more time, according to the website as mentioned earlier from the U.S. Department of State. So think once more before learning a language, as perhaps you won't have enough time to dedicate to your study. At A2, you still can't hold a daily conversation well enough. Still, you can communicate briefly in some situations, such as ordering meals at restaurants, confirming the amount of money, and asking for directions. Although your language skill is still limited, you'll have fun talking in a foreign language, and such experiences will give you more confidence that steady study will eventually lead you to speak fluently. What matters the most at this stage is to master the phonology. Regardless of the language you're learning, you need to understand that it's entirely different from the English pronunciation, and you have to distinguish and pronounce consonants and vowels not found in English, as well as tones in the case of Chinese and other languages. At first, you can hardly pronounce each word correctly, so repeated exercises are required to improve your listening and speaking skills. Since A2 is the beginner level, many textbooks are available to study different languages. We recommend 3 books because some important points aren't covered or explained enough in one book, but in others. Next comes listening. At the A2 level, it's enough to have conversations in limited situations such as those introduced earlier, but it's still necessary to properly understand native speakers' pronunciation and other speakers. Basically, as already explained, the first step is to properly master the phonology of a foreign language, so you can get used to it by continuing to listen to simple conversational expressions on a daily basis. Also, if possible, try to listen at a slightly faster speed, say 1.2 to 1.5 times, so you can keep up with what native speakers are saying at a slightly faster speed, to improve your listening skills, on top of saving your time in this exercise. It's a good idea to spend 15 to 30 minutes a day exposing yourself to such sounds, leveraging your time when you go to the workplace or any other spare time. As for specific materials for listening, many videos with phrases are available on YouTube, and you can use them to learn basic expressions in your target language. You need not only get used to natives' pronunciation, but also check the meaning of those words you aren't familiar with to memorize them. Some languages change verbs, nouns, and adjectives differently due to conjugation and declension, and you should understand such grammar at the A2 or B1 level. We'll deal with the grammar later on, too. Next, speaking. At this level, it's best to focus first on telling simple expressions in correct pronunciation. Likely, you're still unable to speak as fluently as natives, having difficulty pronouncing well, but try saying well, although it can be slow, paying attention to each consonant, vowel, and tone too in case of tonal languages such as Chinese. Pronounce carefully each of the phrases in the phrasebooks and other textbooks mentioned above, and try to pronounce them so they can come out of your mouth when you want to say them. Also, pay attention to the grammar to avoid mistakes. It's like adding s to the verb when it's third-person singular in the present tense or conjugating basic irregular verbs, so instead of I bought this book yesterday, you say I bought this book yesterday. In reading, there's basically no need to understand long sentences at the A2 level. It's enough, for example, to understand the basic meaning of signboards such as no photography with flash or business hours. Also, for writing, it's enough to communicate easily on a messenger, and in that case, as with the previous point about speaking, it's necessary to write simple sentences with good basic grammar. At this point, conversational skills are more important than reading and writing, so it's better to concentrate on developing conversational skills. As for vocabulary, you need to learn 1,000 to 1,200 words to reach A2. Quite a few word lists are available at this stage in different languages, and some are available online, especially at Memrise. Some books include too many words for intermediate level and above, so choose an appropriate list. Studying grammar is also essential, although the complex part isn't required yet at the A2 level. Usually, it's okay if you master present, past, and a few other tenses, but each language requires you to memorize something more. For instance, conjugations in the case of Romance languages and declensions in German and Slavic languages. Mastering such basic grammar is crucial for further study, so read explanations carefully and repeatedly and try to learn conjugations and declensions by heart. Last but not least, it's crucial to develop the skills we've already mentioned, specifically listening, speaking, reading, writing, vocabulary, and grammar, in a balanced manner. Try writing down your status quo in each of them and your goals in the coming month when you decide to learn a language, and check your progress each month to ensure that you are making progress. It's worthwhile to reflect occasionally on what you've done so far, praising yourself for your achievement and trying to improve what remains unaccomplished if you want to master a language. Now, let's summarize what we've learned today. 1. Although A2 isn't enough for daily conversation, you can hold some conversations in limited situations, such as traveling abroad. First, have fun communicating in a foreign language, even insufficiently, as such a successful experience will help you go on studying. 2. The estimated time to reach this level varies from 220 to 1,000 hours, depending on the language you study. Quite often, you'll achieve this in less than half a year. 3. Beginners need to acquire correct pronunciation, so focus on understanding the phonology of the target language. 4. As for listening, listen to conversational phrases for at least 15 minutes per day. Playing audio files at a slightly faster speed will help you understand natives who speak fast. 5. As for speaking, repeat what you hear in such audio files. You don't have to speak as fast as the audio at this stage, but try pronouncing clearly so natives can understand you. Reflect what you've already learned about the grammar. 6. As for reading, it's enough to read signboards and other indications, and as for writing, it's okay to text messages in messengers. Again, reflect what you've already learned about the grammar. 7. The required vocabulary size is approximately 1,000 to 1,200 words. Although not too much is necessary on the grammar, it's essential to grasp it well. 8. What matters the most is to develop such different skills in a balanced manner. Write down your current status and your goal for next month, then reflect on it monthly to accelerate your study. Thank you for watching this video. We're looking forward to seeing you in the next one.